So, I'm making this video to get a proper timeline on it because uh, on other Instagram accounts and YouTube accounts with long descriptions, I don't tend to read them all too often. So, I'm making a few minute video so that way you guys can be up to date on everything. So, I will post a picture either in this video or in a Instagram post tied to this video. And this video will probably be up on YouTube and Instagram. But my point is that this is a timeline. So on May 27th, 2021, I got injured in a dirt bike accident. I clipped a tree doing between 11 and 20 miles an hour. I broke my big toe and two bones across the top of my foot. And then the Wednesday following that, so that was May 27th. That was Thursday, May 27th. And, sorry, someone's really bugging my eye and I don't know what. But so Thursday, May 27th, I got injured. Friday, May 28th, I went to work. And there was a whole event about work. I'll explain real quick. So I'm not going to mention the company's name, but I worked through a staffing company I worked for a staffing company that had a I worked for a company that had a staffing company supplying them with employees, basically. And their deal was if you miss a day or you miss a certain amount of time, you get a fraction of a point or a whole point. 4 full points is when you are fired or they let you go. Either way, whichever way you want to say it. So I was at, by the time of the accident, I was at 3.5 points, and they let me know that Thursday, May 27th. Knowing that information, I already had prepared to resign. I don't like the word quit, but that's what a lot of people would use. So, but I decided, or I was deciding at that point whether or not to hand in my resignation or resign. And that accident I had on Thursday, which was just a few hours after I had my orthodontist appointment, and also the day that I was handed my notice of if I miss another time or I get handed another yellow slip, I would be let go. So I talked it over with my parents, and they agreed with me that I should resign my position. In addition to that, the accident did not help anything. It made things even worse for employment. So, I went to work Friday. I talked to the hiring agent. I'm not going to mention the name, but I talked to her and handed in my resignation and thanked her for employing me for however long I was there. And that's not important how long I was there. My point is, it's important to know why I resigned. I didn't resign just because I hated the job. I didn't mind the job. I kind of liked it, but I didn't like the hours. Point is I'm trying not to make a long video, but I'm making it long. So I got injured May 27th, went into work May 28th, and worked all day Friday, May 28th, and then I tendered my resignation Friday around lunchtime, I think it was, which is 11 a.m. So Friday, May 28th was my last day of work, or last day of employment. So, excuse me, then Wednesday, June 2nd, I had an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon, and he introduced himself and said, I have an opening tomorrow, let's get it done. And I was like, okay. Kind of sudden, but so I had to mentally wrap my head around that very quickly because it was less than 24 hours later that I would have surgery. So I go home, get ready, make sure I don't have any of my lovely tube feeds after midnight. And yes, that bag's empty, but it just finished. I'm going to be putting a new one on here soon. Anyways, but made sure I was NPO, which just means no food by mouth. And then I went in, Dad and I left for surgery, I think around probably 1 or 2 in the or probably between like 12 and 2 in the afternoon. Or no, I think we left at 12 and we were required to be there by like 2:30. I went in my wheelchair because I was in, so let me back up a little bit. So, May 28th was my last day of work. That was Friday. Then Saturday, I could not walk on my foot flat. I was walking on the side of my foot like this. And I could not flatten it out, and I was also dragging it behind me and just putting enough pressure on it just to get my left foot in front of me. And my dad and my nurse saw that. Seeing as I had an incident while my nurse was here, there's 2 things that she files. There's one thing that's called an UI, which is an unusual incident, and there's a thing that's called a MUI, which is a major unusual incident. Major unusual incident would be if the squad had to come or we had to take me to the ER, either by squad, by chopper, or by ourselves. So that's why, so she was like, I need to have an official letter of documentation to be able to put in my charting. So we decided to go to the ER at that point. We got there around 10. We left around probably, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Got there around 10 or 10:30. It's about 20 minutes away, and in the next town over. So we go there, we get an x-ray, they tell me I'm possibly going to need pins, possibly rods, and so then they put me in a soft cast, which is a cast that has a hard bottom and a hard back to it. So like this here's the bottom, this is the back. So it just has like a hard bottom and back to it to basically give it like the form or whatever. So, and then it's ace wrapped around that, so that's why they call it a soft cast. Hard cast would be if they had to form it and everything with plaster Paris or whatever they use. But anyways, so that was Saturday. Got back home around 2 a.m. So we were gone for like 4 hours. The ER is not quick, especially on a Memorial Day weekend, on a Saturday on Memorial Day weekend. So, but anyways, my point is that that's what happened then. So then we had my appointment Wednesday, then Thursday we go to surgery. I posted about that. You'll have seen this post long before this video. Just check back on Instagram and you'll see. So I got there. I didn't go into surgery until 6:40-ish. And the funny thing is, I had my accident around 5 in the evening. So it like 4 to 5 in the evening, roughly. So that it was almost exactly 7 days. It was like 7 days and 2 hours after my accident, I had my surgery. So they're wheeling me into surgery. I'm handing off all my stuff to my dad. I hand him my watch, And just for curiosity's sake, I just wanted to see how long the surgery would take. They predicted it'd be like an hour or so, so I just wanted to see. So, as a matter of fact, I still have not erased it from my stopwatch on my wristwatch. So I'll show you that if it'll show up on camera. That time there, I don't know if it shows or not, but if not, I'll tell you anyways, as I plan to. So I go, um, I'm like, all right, love you. We give kisses, hugs, we say our byes and everything. Um, and I hand the watch off to my dad. Right as I'm handing it to him, I hit the start button. I'm wheeled off to surgery, and um, then I go into surgery, and I make sure that they understand that I have, they either asked me or I volunteered the information, or both. I forget which way it went down. But they realize I have an allergy bracelet on, or I tell them I have an allergy that is to Tegaderm. Tegaderm makes my skin bleed, or at least it did at one point. I don't want to find that out ever again, but I don't know. Point is I told them what I had been using in the past for my central line axis, and for you those that don't know, I had a central line in the middle of my chest, and then one up there as well. You can very faintly see the scar there. I will explain that later at the end of this video or in another one. But anyways, I used to get access once a month. So what we'd use is called Opsite. It's also known as IV3000 dressing. So I tell them that, and they get that in there because they're about to use Tegaderm on me, and I made sure that you got to be your own advocate. So I advocated for myself, and I explained to them that I'm very allergic to Tegaderm and what the reaction is, and so they made sure to use the Opsite on me. So then I'm just talking to them, and they asked me how it happened or what happened or whatever, and I told them it was a dirt bike accident, everything I've just explained to you. Excuse me. So then they put me to sleep. I wake up in the PACU, which is the recovery unit. I don't know the technical term for it, but like what all the letters stand for. But I think I could be butchering this and getting this wrong, but I think it stands for post anesthesia recovery unit or critical care unit or something. I don't know. Look it up. You'll know. Watch a YouTube video. I'll tell you. But anyways, so I wake up there. I'm in recovery for about 45 to about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. And then they had discussed before my surgery of having me stay the night for whatever reason. I guess they just didn't have enough staff or something. They said I don't remember. Like I said, I was being knocked out as they said this. So but they take me to a hospital room because by the time I get out, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. My dad, I asked for him, gave the nurses his number, and they got him up to my room, and I turned on, what movie was it? I believe, like I said, this was over a month ago. This has been over 2 months now. So I turned on Avengers something or other. If I remember the name, I'll say it. And if not, I'll tag it down below, in the description. But I turned on an Avengers movie, and my dad went down to the hospital pharmacy to pick up my prescription of oxycodone that I was issued for pain. And so he was down there for probably a good hour or two. or at least it seemed that way. I don't remember exactly how long, but I just know that he was down there for quite a bit. So I, what was I gonna say? By the time he came back up, the lights, I asked the nurse to turn the lights off that I couldn't reach. With the lights I could reach on the hospital remote, if any of you have been hospitalized, you know what the hospital remote is. It controls the TV, the lighting, the nurse call button, everything. I don't think it controls the bed. I think the bed has its own controls. But anyways, so Dad gets up to the room, and decides, and he realizes I'm already asleep, all the lights are off and everything. And I was kind of starting to wake up then. Now, keep in mind, when I went to my hospital room, I did not, I was not asleep. I was fully awake. I was groggy and everything because I had been knocked out and everything. I had surgery and I was in a lot of pain. But, and that was mostly controlled after I got out of the PACU. But then by the time I got settled in my room, then I need pain meds again because they wear off and everything. Anyways, but, so my dad came up after he had already been in my room, and he was like, I don't want to disturb him or anything. I think we're gonna stay the night. He didn't know I heard that until days later, but I was starting to wake up from falling asleep after my anesthesia sleep, and we decided to just stay the night. It was an outpatient surgery, so I was supposed to go home that night. But by the time we would have gotten home, it would have been super late in the morning. It would be like 2, 3 in the morning. I wouldn't get to bed till 4 or 5, and it would have been a whole ordeal. So Dad and I decided to just stay the night. So got my pain well under control throughout the night. I only slept, I went to bed around 2 or 3, just because of all the nurses in and out and having to give them all my schedules and everything of my normal meds that I get here at home, all my home meds. And it's a good thing I brought a bag of formula with me in my backpack because they did not have my formula in-house, meaning in-house just means inpatient, fancy word for it or whatever. But yeah, they did not have Kate Farms Peptide Plus 1.5 calorie. So it's a good thing I had that on me. Any of you that have Kate Farms formula, make sure that you take it with you, or at least the Kate Farms Peptide Plus 1.5, because they do not supply it at Nationwide Children's Hospital in downtown Columbus. They do not. I don't know why, they just don't. They supply the Pediasure brand, and a whole bunch of other brands I'm not familiar with, but they do not supply Kate Farms that I use. They might supply Kate Farms, but they don't supply the type I use. So, but anyways, so yeah, I got to bed around 2 or 3, woke up right at shift change around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Shout out to my nurse, Kalacia. She was really good. If any of you have a nurse named Kalacia, she's probably about 5 foot tall, and she was really good. So, shout out to her. But I got discharged around 10:30 in the morning, and I have a video detailing June 2nd and right? No, I have a video detailing June 3rd and June 4th. June 3rd I went in, June 4th I got to come home. Keep in mind, that was because Dad and I decided to stay the night, because of how late I got out. What was I gonna say? So I got home and been recouping. They already had scheduled me for a follow-up appointment exactly 2 weeks to the day of surgery. Or actually, it was a week and 6 days, not a full 14 days. It was 13 days after. It was 14 days from the day of my initial appointment with the surgeon. And he, so point is I got out of my cast, so I don't keep rambling. I got out of my cast, 14 days after June 2nd. Then I was put in a medical boot. 4 weeks later, I had a follow-up appointment. He kept me in the medical boot. 4 weeks later, which I believe, if I'm following the timeline correctly, that was this past Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And they said there's no need for a follow-up appointment unless pain returns or persists and it doesn't go away or it doesn't get any better. So, and I'll post a picture of my scar. I haven't been posting pictures a lot of it, but I'll post once, that way you guys can see how big this incision was. So, what was I going to say? So then he said 4 weeks from the last appointment, which I believe, again, I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday. He said I can return as long as I can sprint. I can return back to Airsoft. Yes. Sorry, I had to cheer a little bit there. But he said 4 weeks from then I could return to Airsoft as long as I can sprint. If I can't sprint, I can't return to it until then, until I'm able to sprint. So, and he said I was cleared to ride at my 90 days. So he said one of my first questions was, I believe at my 2-week follow-up, was how soon can I ride? What does any guy do that has a new bike and only has gotten to ride it for like less than a month and crashes it and then gets an injury and is like, when can I ride? That was one of the first questions out of my mouth at the 2-week follow-up. And he was like, hold on now, let's take things one day at a time, slow down. And my mom was pulling back on the reins, figuratively, of course. And so he said 90 days from the day of injury. Or I might have actually asked him that the day before surgery. I don't remember. It was either the day before surgery, the day after surgery, or the 2-week follow-up. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask my dad and my mom. But so he said 90 days from the day of injury. Only about 2 more weeks to go. But now, because of my accident and getting injured, sorry, I'm kind of stiff. I'll tell you about that later. But now, because I crashed, I mean, I needed it before I crashed, but especially now, if I can do it one-handed, I don't know. I've now got a riding jacket. I'll pick that up later. Riding pants. Ouch. And knee pads. No, I did not go riding and crash in the mud. I just use these to garden with because they're very comfortable, surprisingly. So they work for more than motocross riding. And my bike is not technically motocross. It is a mini bike from Tractor Supply. And you'll see that post. I posted that around May 5th. So go back and look at that on Instagram. And then, if I can find them, I don't know exactly where they are. Here's one of them. I'll have to find the other one. But I also have motocross riding boots. That would have prevented everything from happening. Correction. It would have minimized the injury. I would have probably still had a very sore lower leg and ankle from the crash. Might have dinged my knee up a little bit if I was in those. But the point is I would not have had any broken bones. According to my brother Caleb, he has a real dirt bike. I believe it's a Kawasaki 202 stroke. I'll have to get that information from him and ask him what it was. And so, yeah, he's got motocross riding boots. And if I remember the story he told me correctly, he said he was doing between 30 and 40 miles an hour, clipped a tree and destroyed his boots. And that's why he had to get a new pair. I'll confirm that story with him later. And if not, I'll make an update video. But, yeah, he said he didn't break a bone that day. I believe he was pretty sore, but he didn't break any bones because he had the proper gear on, unlike me. I mean, getting a cast is kind of cool, and getting it signed is cool and whatnot, but it gets boring very fast. About a week and a half in, I was like, all right, I'm done, I want to go. But reality's not like that. Anyways, but, so yeah, I got about 2 more weeks until I can ride, and I'm going to cheat that by just a few days just to be able to go to the track. I'm going to ride there and ride back on the road. No crazy driving or anything with the bike until my 90-day limit. Once my 90 days is up, all bets are off with gear on. So, but yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome. And because I'll show you later what my med box is, but because I can't carry a box while I ride because I need my left hand for braking. Now keep in mind, this is on a mini bike, this is not on a dirt bike. It's totally different on a dirt bike. It's like the complete opposite, minus the throttle. I need my left hand for braking, I need my right hand for the throttle, and I need my feet to be planted on the foot pegs to be able to keep myself supported. And by the way, before I forget to put this in a video or a photo, this is the peg that my right foot was on. It sheared off, and I will take a picture of the place it was mounted at the time. But this is what caused some of my injury, most of my injury. I'll turn the camera around later. Probably not in this video. But anyways, so now you guys have seen that peg. I'll be taking a picture of it and posting it on Instagram. But I now have a pack like this. Most people call it a fanny pack. I call it a med pack. And then on my backpack, this is the backpack I carry with me literally everywhere. You can see I've got my flashlight there and my hydration tubing. I lost the bite connector, which is what you bite on to suck the water out of a hydration bladder. I got to clean it. I used it a few days ago at the family reunion. But it was like 100 miles away. It was like a 3 or 4 hour trip, I think. Anyways, but my point is that got to clean that so I stay healthy. This here, that is for my meds. I have stocked this up because I was going somewhere. But I don't know if you can see that in there or not. I'll do a full video on all my gear later. When I'm all suited up, I'll do the videos I'm taking it all off. My foot's got to heal up a little bit more before I can do that video. He didn't say I couldn't put my airsoft gear on and walk around with it. He just said I couldn't be in like competitive mode at the field until I can sprint. And guarantee I'll be doing that soon. But and then this pouch here, that's just for my phone, so you guys can go in there. I don't know if that you like that or not. Anyways, I do not have the bottle in here right now. But this is where my medical water goes, and it fits perfectly in there. So, that's where I keep that. And then on my vest and everything, and like I said, I'll show you that in a later video, but on my vest, is where I keep all my other stuff I need. So, but this here, and all the stuff on here, that means I will be able to ride hands free, on my bike. Whenever I'm riding, I'll just carry this with me. Unless I'm going to be riding here on the property, then it's going to be definitely muddy at times. And that's debatable whether I'll wear the fanny pack then. Obviously, I got to wear the backpack, no question. Otherwise, I can't ride because riding really wears you out. And when your tube feed is your only source of nutrition, it is kind of vital that you have your food flowing all while you ride. So, but I don't know if I ever get into dirt bike racing, if I ever do that. If they'll let me ride with a backpack on. I mean, it's not optional. I have to wear it, but we'll see. Hey, if any of you ride a dirt bike or ride it competitively, and post down in the comments below what the rules are on that. I'd love to know. So that way I don't have to go look them up, because I'm kind of lazy. Am lazy, not kind of. Real quick, the boots I used to ride in are my combat boots. These give absolutely big fat 0 on support. So I can take them and I can fold them over sideways. And that's exactly what it'll do to you in an accident. Do not wear combat riding boots or combat boots while you ride. Wear motocross boots. Don't be a stupid idiot like me and not buy the protective gear. I originally planned to buy all the gear before I bought the bike, but then I realized that there was $700, $800 in my account, and I was like, I can afford the bike now. I'm going to go buy that instead. So, and look at what happened. Now, I did buy my helmet. Where's my helmet? I did buy a helmet. That's the one thing I forgot to show you guys. This thing is huge, but it protects me, and yes, that is a GoPro mount. You will be getting YouTube videos of me riding from now on, especially if I injure myself. That way I can document it. But yeah, sorry to make this such a long video. I'm at like 32.5 minutes now, but so yeah, that's the timeline, and I'll let you know within the next 4 weeks what I do. And if I can get permission from my friend Gideon, I will be videoing if I can find my SD card. Otherwise, I have to get a new one. If I can find my SD card, and if my friend will let me video, we're going to be riding around on the property, possibly off the property, and I will hopefully get video of that. I would definitely get video of it, but whether or not he wants me to post it on there, I don't know. I'll see if he'll let me put him in a video. But if not, you know the reason why now. So, well, it is... What time is it? It is now 9:30, and I am tired. Oh, the reason why I'm so tired, I did say I'd tell you guys that, so I'll hold to my end of the deal, or my promise, whatever. Dad and I broke in a new trail last night, so we put in probably 200 foot of trail, and I will be doing a video on that in the future as well. There's a lot of stuff coming up, especially once I am back to full strength, full activities, able to resume all normal activities. There will be tons of videos coming out. Now, not necessarily in rapid succession, meaning one right after the other, but they will be coming out as fast as I can produce them. Keep in mind, my internet is extremely slow. I mean, it takes me, in the city, it takes me about probably 2 hours to upload a video there. Here it takes me about 4 days. So, if I'm in the city for a doctor's appointment, visiting my grandmother, my mom's mom that we call Nanny, for either an airsoft event or just a social visit, or both, then that's why I'd be in the city to be able to upload a video. That, or if we're traveling out to Zanesville to see my uncle, then I get really good reception. I get really good reception on Interstate 71. So, but yeah. So, I will give you guys an update later. Make sure you comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks.